Hi, this is David Marsh with eTradingStrategies.com. Today is January 24th, 2011, and we're going to talk about our trades today, but I want to show you some of the potential of the E-mini trading strategy system that I sell on my website. You know, I get a lot of questions. Can I make more than a point a day? You tout making a point a day. It sounds really good, but I want to make a couple points a day or 3 points a day. And the answer to that question is yes, the potential is there. Some days are better than others. Volume and volatility play a big role in my system. For example, normally, historically, the beginning of January, my system trades very slow. And what I define slow is we see one or two trades in the first 30 minutes of the opening bell, and then just maybe 5 or 6, 7 trades all day. That's an extreme. Another extreme is when you see 15 setups in a half hour. Okay, the other end of the spectrum. Well, as volume starts picking up mid-January, right about now, we've got earnings coming out, we got Fed meetings, so we're seeing some volatility. So we're getting a lot more trades, and today was a good day. We had 6 or 7 straight winners. And when I get new students in my room, that of course is very empowering. It's very uplifting. Like, wow, this is great. And I caution them. Well, it's great that we had all these winners, but it's not going to be an everyday occurrence. Trading is a difficult business, and not everyone's going to make it. And you take a chart and you look at my charts today, you think, well, gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm not trying to tout my system too much. I'm also not trying to down my system too much, but with the volume picking up, we're going to see a lot more trades. Some will be winners, some will be losers. And so my point is it's plausible to make 2 to 3, 4 points a day trading my system, but you got to have a little bit of background knowledge on the market and realize that if it's a very razor thin volume day, you know, holiday season, right after holiday seasons, or a Friday before a long weekend, that things are going to run slow and may not be the best day to try to grab 3 points, 4 points a day. That's my point. So today I got a couple things I want to point out. At the opening bell, we had a pullback trade and we had an EET. Pullback is short, EET is long. I say 70% of the time both of these trades will both win. Here's a good example of that. Pullback trade went short at 1280, made its profit. EET went long at 79.50. Here's a stop loss. Came within 1 tick of stopping out. It didn't. Right here is when a pullback made its profit. Now this is just simply a faster tick chart. Then pullback went up, made its profit. And on top of that, we had a normal system entry coming out of no zone, and this is a high probability trade. So therefore, we call this a super EET because you're getting in the position, the direction of the potential NSE. Of course, you're getting into CET around here, so we don't know if the NSE is going to happen or not. It could just tank, and the NSE never happens. But it did happen, so this is a super EET, and a lot of my students grab this trade, and they ride it out. You can just take 4 ticks off the trade, but when you get the NSE, and this is this NSE's normal system entry, that's the screen dot to the long side here, that's a high probability trade, so ride it out for a little more. It was an easy 6 tick to 8 tick trade, one and done there, one and done here, or if you just traded the NSE, one and done on the NSE. We then had a pullback trade, which was a winner. And I want to talk about this EET right here. Let me move my chart over a little bit here. This EET is a short EET, and it's plotted on your chart if you're a NinjaTrader user and you have Pro Indicator version 2, because it doesn't know the rules on to which to take the EET. It simply signals when trades occur. They don't know if they're valid. Okay, I teach you when they're valid. Well, this is not a valid short EET simply because this is a high probability long trade, so we would not go short against this. And market went down a couple ticks in the EET's favor, but then sure enough bounced up and stopped out the EET. And then we had another occurrence of both the EET. Oops, let me back up here a little bit. We'll go over that one here in a moment. I got to hurry up. We're getting low on time here. Here's an example again of both the pullback and the EET being winners. Pullback 81.75 hit its target. EET short definitely hit its target, and another short NSE trade. So another good trade there. Now, right here during this NSE, our long-term filter went short. So because a long-term filter went short, we would avoid all long trades. So here's a long EET that we avoided that would have been a loser. So this is a good day to really go a little more deeper into my videos because all that I teach really happened today. And now this is within the first 30 minutes. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. So we then had another long NSE, which was another winner. And I want to talk one more here about this trade right here. Okay. And I don't normally give out too much rules of my system, but when we take a short trade, if the profit is going to be below the most, an established low of the day, we don't want to take the trade. So you can see this is a losing short trade. My rules say we wouldn't have taken this trade because we'd have to go below the low, which happened to be 78.75. We'd have had to break through that to make it a profit. So instead, I like the long EET going up this way. But before I get there, if I know I don't want to take the short NSC because I don't have enough room, I could take it on the EET, which would be right around this level right here, 80.75. Get in a couple bars early, and by the time it signals, I've already got a 4-tick target. And then you turn right around to learning EETs, and here's the long EET that I wanted to take. I was done trading. I didn't need to take it, but I'm just showing that because we're close to a low of the day, I would have much rather taken a long EET. It all just worked out good today. I mean, the market could have went to the low, pierced the low, and just dropped another 10 points. Okay? And that's why we have rules in which to trade. Sometimes the rules line up perfectly like they did today, and I've showed you every single trade today was all winners. Had you taken every trade, you'd be up 7, 8, 9 points, and that sounds wonderful. And it is wonderful, but it won't happen every day. That's the reality of day trading, is that you can have the best system in the world, but it's going to take losers. My system takes losing trades. I take losing trades. My students take losing trades. Dave, why are you so negative on such a positive day? Because I want people to know that it's all about the discipline. All this looks great, but if you don't have the discipline to follow the rules, you could have had a bad day today. If you made the wrong decision, made the wrong trades, or you let emotions dictate what you're going to trade, that's what leads traders down a path of normally they end up blowing up enough money that they quit. And I'm here to try to educate people in a way that if they have a decent system, whether it be my own or someone else's, but they have the discipline to follow the rules to the T, they're going to come out ahead. Today was a day that the rules played out perfectly. Tomorrow that may not be the case. The rules may say don't take that trade, and it could be a winner. But that doesn't mean we deviate from the rules. So, or if you get 2 or 3 trades, there's an old statement that goes around the workplace: you're only as good as your last, sales report or your last sale. It's not the same in trading. If the first NSC at a no zone is a high probability trade, but the last 3 times it happened, it lost, you're not as good as your last system setup. That doesn't mean we change the rules. These rules are time tested. We stick with them no matter what. Some days they work out perfect. Some days we take losers, but we got the discipline and we follow the rules and we recover and still make profit. All right, so I've ranted on enough. I just want to show you all the different nuances of my system. I think this is about as thorough as I've ever been in one of my videos. So with that said, I will be working on pro trader videos for my students and for the launch most of the week and most of next week. So I will be tied up. There won't be a lot of videos coming up next couple weeks, but we will hopefully have the public pro trader webinar within the next couple weeks. So thanks for watching.